Hello everyone, Bobster1984 here again, and I'm doing a Newcastle United video. I haven't done one for a while, I do apologise about that, but there has been an international break. But today, Newcastle went down Ellen Road and silenced a full house of Leeds supporters by beating them 2-0. 2 more goals for Dwight GAYLE, taking his tally to 13 so far this season in the Championship. Newcastle now open up a 5-point gap at the top of the table, ahead of Brighton, and 9 points from Reading in third place. It's looking more and more likely that Newcastle United will be playing Premiership football next season, thank God. Anyway, Newcastle started the game very well. We really had a lot of possession. We had a couple of decent little chances in the first half an hour. And we really looked like we were bossing the game. Leeds looked like they were a little bit nervous. You know, they were playing the big boys of the division. And Newcastle really should have scored more than the 1 goal than they did after Dwight GAYLE obviously put Newcastle ahead. But before the Newcastle did go ahead, they should have actually been ahead already, in my opinion, because we had a lot of the play. Shelvey was looking really good in the midfield. And Perez was putting in a few good little touches, and he was looking really good in an away performance, which is something he's not done for a while. Obviously, Diarmi normally plays away from home. But Newcastle looked really good, and then obviously when the goal did come, it was from a long ball which was supposed to go forward, a long pass from Colback, obviously overhit. Robert Green goes to catch it, and he looks like he's either going to push it away from the oncoming Dwight GAYLE, or he's flopped the catch. Either way, the ball has just dropped straight in the path of Dwight GAYLE, and he's just had the easiest little volley into the net that you'll ever see. Newcastle are 1-0 up and cruising. But after that, and for the last 10 minutes of the first half, and for the first 10 minutes of the second half, Leeds really did come back into the game. They had a few chances, and they looked a lot more threatening, as if they actually decided that they were not going to be scared of Newcastle, and they did have a couple of good chances, especially I think it was in the 49th minute. Leeds had a great chance. Obviously, Darlow makes a save. All Leeds are wanting is for that striker to gamble on the rebound, and they didn't. So if Newcastle might have found themselves being 1-1, and then 5 minutes later, a fantastic team goal. The ball is played along the floor, 4 or 5 players involved, and Anita puts the ball in, and Dwight GAYLE, he's free in the box, and it's a tap in. But it was a great team goal, and Newcastle really cruising at that point for that piece of play, and making it 2-0. And after that, you could tell that the second goal just completely knocked the stuffing out of Leeds. Leeds really didn't have anything left, and Newcastle eventually cruising to a very no, I'm not going to say expected, but a very unexpected, in terms of how comfortable it was, 2-0 win. Obviously, going into the game, both teams were in very good form. Leeds are, creeping themselves into the playoff contention, and Newcastle obviously doing as they are. But I was expecting Leeds to put up a bit more of a fight than they did today. There were at times, obviously, they put Newcastle under big pressure, but they didn't really make us work that hard for the 3 points, I don't believe. Another great performance from a Newcastle team who just look like they're going to get stronger and stronger. That's 8 league wins in a row. Who's going to beat us in this kind of form in this division? And that's not me being big-headed, that's me being realistic, because Newcastle are obviously the big boys of the division. I'm going to give man of the match just to Dwight GAYLE. I thought because of the 2 goals, they were both, the first one he couldn't really miss, but the second one was a great finish, to round off a great bit of team play. Nice cool head. But I do want to give a good shout. I thought Jose Perez played quite well. It was a good few little touches. Shelby played well in the first half. He was a bit quiet in the second. And I did think a couple of decent touches from Gouffran again, who's he's justifying why he's still in that squad. But another great performance from Rafa's men. Newcastle coming away from Ellen Road with a 2-0 win. And what more do you want as a Newcastle fan? Everything's going brilliantly. Who was your man of the match? Leave your comments down below. Let us know what you thought of the performance, and who do you think out of our upcoming games is more likely to stop this run? Let's hope it doesn't obviously end, but runs don't last forever, unfortunately. But yeah, Newcastle providing a great Sunday afternoon for us fans. Let's hope it continues. How are you, lads?